Hello, very good evening. Welcome to the Mega News, the 6 News coming to you live from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension. I am El Samuels. Tonight, we'll bring you the major stories making headlines across Ghana and beyond, from the economy and governance to security, development, business, and international affairs. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Parliament approves Fiscal Council nominees as Speaker raises concern over all-male composition. In business, big push to connect 200 voter communities to national grid. And on the international front, Nepal flood rescue efforts reach critical stage as death toll rises.
There's another major stories coming up. We'll also explain the latest gold board, new gold export regulations, and many more. Details of Now, starting with, we go straight to the floor of Parliament, where Parliament has approved a nominee to Ghana's Fiscal Council, paving the way for the Council to begin its work. But Speaker Alban Bagbin has raised concerns about the absence of women among the approved nominees.
Ghana's parliament has approved nominees to serve on the Fiscal Council. The approval clears the way for the nominees to take up their respective roles on the body responsible for providing independent advice on fiscal policy and strengthening oversight of the country's public finances. But the approval was accompanied by concern from the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. He questioned the composition of the council, pointing out that all the approved nominees are men. The Speaker's comments have renewed calls for greater gender representation in public institutions, particularly bodies with significant influence over national economic policy. The Fiscal Council is expected to play a key role in promoting fiscal responsibility, transparency, and sustainable management of Ghana's public finances. The approved nominees will now proceed to assume their responsibilities as attention turns to the Council's work and its contribution to Ghana's fiscal management.
And still at Parliament, James Agalga has officially assumed the office as a majority leader in Ghana's Parliament, pledging to work across political divides to build consensus and advance the business of the House.
James Agalga has officially taken over as majority leader in Parliament following his appointment to the position. Mr. Agalga says his leadership will focus on consensus building, collaboration, and ensuring that Parliament delivers effectively on its constitutional mandate. He takes charge of the majority side at a time when Parliament continues to deal with a range of legislative and national policy matters requiring cooperation across the political divide. The new majority leader has pledged to engage the minority and other stakeholders to promote constructive debate and minimize unnecessary confrontation in the House. He is also expected to coordinate the work of the majority caucus and help steer government business through Parliament. Mr. Agalga says his priority will be to put the national interest first while ensuring that Parliament remains responsive to the concerns of Guineans.
With utmost humility, Mr. Speaker, I would like to express profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President, the entire leadership of my party, the great National Democratic Congress. The NDC caucus in Parliament, which until now was ably led by the Honorable Mahama Ayaraga, and of course, the minority bench, led by Honorable Afinyu Makin, for the confidence reposed in me to serve in the office of majority leader. Mr. Speaker, like I said, I accept this responsibility with utmost humility. First of all, Mr. Speaker, this is a learning curve for me, and I would want to assure my colleagues that I would imbibe from the wisdom of Mr. Speaker in the conduct of business in this House. Because like Honorable Mahama Ayariga stated, we are blessed to have in our presence Right Honorable Speaker Bagbin, who has seen it all. Mr. Speaker, you've served as minority leader before, you've served as majority leader before, and by the grace of God today, you are the Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana. I shall continue to tap from your vast experience and wisdom in leading this august House. Again, Honorable Mahama Ayariga, you'll be leaving this House as leader, but you have assured me that your continuous presence in this House will not be missed. And so I shall continue to rely on you for support and guidance. I would also want to assure my colleague leaders on the front bench of the majority caucus that you have been at it for quite some time, and so I will learn from you with humility. But in doing so, I shall be spirited in providing the leadership that is most desirous in ensuring that government business thrives in this House. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, I'd want to assure Honorable Afenyo-Markin and the entire minority bench that my approach in this House would hinge first on consensus building. I mean, we can make compromise.
Meanwhile, the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has pledged his friendship and cooperation to the newly appointed majority leader, James Agalga, as he assumes leadership of the majority side in Parliament.
Ghana's minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, has extended an assurance of friendship and cooperation to newly appointed majority leader James Agalga. Mr. Afenyo-Markin said Mr. Agalga could find in him a good friend as he takes on the responsibility of leading the majority caucus. The comments came as Mr. Agalga officially assumed office as majority leader following changes to the leadership of the majority side. The minority leader urged his counterparts to approach the role with an open mind and a commitment to working in the interest of Parliament and the Ghanaian people. Mr. Afenyo-Markin also indicated his readiness to work with Mr. Agalga despite their positions on opposite sides of the House. James Agalga has pledged to build consensus and strengthen cooperation between the majority and minority as he begins his tenure. The two leaders are expected to play a key role in shaping parliamentary debate and steering legislative business in the House.
I respect him for his own forthrightness and a man who does not hide his feelings. Hardly would you get people like that. You work with somebody, you work with a person, and the person hides all his cards. It's difficult. But Mahama will tell you that, Alex, I'm not happy with you today. And it is what it is. So I'll miss our friendship, this direct relationship. But I know that at the ministry is another opportunity to serve your nation. Patience and industry has elevated you to this high office, leader of the House. I've been there before. It's a very hot seat. You can at times be lonely. It's a lonely life. You would have to endure when everybody else says otherwise. You know the truth, but you can't speak the truth. However, the man up there, seated in the east of this honorable house, oftentimes when I feel lonely, I say to myself, but he survived. You can find in me a good friend. You see, James, those who have not gone through the process of being leaders will not understand what I'm saying. They have not been part of our club. They are not part of it. So when we are talking about friendship, their interpretation is different. But you will soon be introduced to the code of leadership. And I'm saying that you can find in me a friend. My job is not to obstruct you. My job is to offer a different lens to things you may not see. So don't be worried at all. My job really is to turn this minority into majority. That really is my job. But please, James, as you come, don't attempt to infiltrate my back.
And as from the floor of Parliament, we're still with issues on the Parliament. The Executive Director of the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs, ACIPA, has urged politicians to engage in political competition whilst maintaining civility and also respect for democratic institutions.
The Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, ACIPA, says politicians can engage in political competition without losing sight of decorum and respect. He says political parties and their representatives have every right to defend their positions and challenge one another, but he believes such political contests must be conducted responsibly with respect for opponents and the institutions of democracy. His comments come amid renewed attention to the tone of political debate and relations between the majority and minority in Parliament. He has called on political leaders to prioritize constructive engagement and avoid conduct that could undermine public confidence in Parliament. According to him, healthy political competition is essential to democracy, but it should be matched with discipline, tolerance, and mutual respect.
Now, moving away from that story, Ghana has secured $132 million support skills development and strengthen technical and vocational training as the country seeks to improve employment opportunity for young people.
Ghana has secured $132 million to support its skills development drive. The funding is expected to strengthen technical and vocational education and training while improving access to practical skills needed in the labor market. The initiative is aimed at equipping young people with relevant skills and improving their chances of securing jobs or starting their own businesses. Authorities say the investment will also help address skills gaps and better align training programs with the needs of the industry. The move comes amid growing calls for stronger links between education, skills development, and employment, particularly for Ghana's youth. The government is expected to use the funding to expand skills training and improve the capacity of institutions involved in technical and vocational education. Officials say the broader objective is to build a skilled workforce capable of supporting Ghana's economic growth.
Let me tell you what we have done. I've done over this 1 year and half years. I have had discussion. I had discussion with a German partner. We agreed to work together in Ghana. They have agreed to deposit $82 million in our accounts that we have opened, and they are also bringing about $50 million to construct a skill development university in this country. It has never happened.
Where?
In Ghana here.
Which part of Ghana? That's what I mean.
We've not defined the place yet.
Okay.
The money is just sipping in. We are getting $82 million in skill development. We are opening a university that costs $50 million. That agreement has been signed. I signed the agreement. I met them severally. We've had a number of meetings, and between now and before the end of the year, partners will begin coming to Ghana, and we would have established where we want to establish it and work to ensure that we have the skill development university happening. We have skill training going on. We have job placements happening across the country.
From the Labor Ministry to the Education Ministry, where Ghana Education Minister says it will amend the law governing the Ghana Education Service Council after the Catholic Bishops' Conference was excluded from representation on the council.
The ministry says steps will be taken to amend the law governing the Ghana Education Service Council. The move follows concerns over the absence of representation for the Catholic Bishops' Conference on the council. The ministry says the amendment is intended to address the issue and ensure the composition of the council reflects the requirements of the law. The Catholic Church has historically played a significant role in Ghana's education sector, operating a large number of schools across the country. The development has therefore drawn attention to the relationship between the government and faith-based organizations. The Education Ministry says the proposed amendment will provide clarity on representation and strengthen the legal framework governing the council. Further details on the proposed changes are expected as the process moves forward.
And those are the major stories making headlines tonight. Now we turn our attention to the business sector. Standing by for the business